Hi, I'm Quinn Kinzer, and I'm a recent graduate and current PhD student at University of Wisconsin-Madison in the Consumer Sciences. So today I'm here with Professor Christine Willen and Bill McGarvey talking about Bill's book on the Freshman Survival Guide and Soulful Advice for Studying, Socializing, and Everything in Between. So we'll be having a conversation today with the two of you to hear a little bit more about what you guys think is most relevant for young college students today, and particularly, Bill, how your book is going to help young people navigate that. So I wanted to start by asking the two of you that so much of the typical messaging around college seems to suggest that getting in is the only goal, and that once you're in, everything else from there should be easy. But that's just not true. And I wish I'd had a book like this when I started college for students who are getting this before the start of campus. What's your guidance on how they should use this guide?
Getting into college is obviously the huge emotional hurdle for a lot of folks. And what I think often gets lost in that translation, though, is how huge the transition can be for a lot of students from high school to college. And that's why the book really helps basically narrate from the perspective of a lot of students who've already been there and a lot of professionals who help on campus how to make that transition safely and productively. I think it's a very useful book for second semester high school seniors that could be done in a classroom by faculty to kind of really go through and study and look at the issues that come up. A lot of first year experience from freshman orientation programs are using it as well.
Yeah, and when we think about going to college, for high schoolers, it's all about, is my stuff on paper going to be positively judged enough so that I can achieve this thing that I've been told is the be all and end all? And I think our culture really does young people a disservice by focusing all of the efforts of high school on getting in to college. Because then when you are at university, then there is a whole different world opens up to you that, in fact, not a lot of people talk about. We tend to focus really on the acceptance, and then we just sort of assume it's fine after that. But as all of us know, it's a huge transition period. It is the first time that many of these young adults have been away from home for an extended period of time. For many college students, they're the first in their family to ever attend college. And so there's a whole a lexicon of vocabulary. There's a whole emotional sort of knowledge base out there that is really new for students. So one of the great things that I think about this use for this book would be to buy it as a graduation gift, to have it as part of one of the freshman orientation retreats that many universities do, where they bring kids to go hiking or something for a week. And if you can sort of have it as a fireside discussion, anything to do so that this kind of normalizes these feelings of uncertainty from the get-go, I think that can set off students really on the right foot.
Mm-hmm.
And for what it's worth, Quinn, the book actually came out of conversations a while back, many years ago now, with my co-author, Nora Bradbury Hale, who was a youth minister back in Rochester. And she was writing for an organization, a thing called Busted Halo that I wrote for. That's where I met Christine. And she had talked about when she was dealing with high school kids in her youth ministry, how they'd often be great kids and go off to college and then come back and after the first semester or the second semester, having crashed and burned. And so she decided to sort of help avert that. She got all of her high school seniors who were just graduating and going to college to sit down in the summertime for one night with all the students who had preceded them and already gone to college relatively successfully or not successfully, sit down in a room and ask them any question they could. So that's where it started. So we should call it the freshman. We'll do a one-page handout called the Freshman Survival Guide. That's where it started. It grew out of that from over a decade ago into this book that's now 400 pages, which is really almost a reference book for all the questions students really were having about college, and everything from roommate issues to studying issues to diet and exercise to drugs and alcohol, sex, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Dealing with parents, dealing with professors, down to emotional issues, everything in between. So it's really student, in that sense, generated by the questions and the experiences of students.